That looks like it's on for entry of orders. Let's see if I happen to have any orders here.
I just emailed the agreed order to you this morning.
Okay. I don't know that I saw that.
Yeah, I apologize that it was late.
All right. I do not see that. It might be in my email. Did you send it to myself or just to my staff?
To both you and your JA.
Okay. I'm going to have her get that printed. I'm going to come back to this one, then I'll get a copy of that order, and then we'll be able to take care of that one.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody here on that matter?
I'm here, Your Honor. His mom.
I'm here,
his
Judge.
father.
All right.
Tina Day, guardian ad litem. I'm here as well, Your Honor.
Great. Thank you. So where are we at on this case? I had this down just with a question mark and status for today.
So we were last here, Your Honor, on a couple of things, and it got set over. Our last hearing, there was a discussion regarding the need for supervision, which was understood and agreed that there was no longer a need for mom's visits to be supervised, but it was to have the report sent to mom, make sure she got that it was sent to her attorney when I finished the guardian ad litem report. So we're here to review that. And also just to give the court an update, I received late on Friday, or maybe it was Saturday, recently over the whole weekend, Mother's did her hair follicle, and I got those results. And I filed those this morning, but they probably haven't made it their way to you, but everything was clean. And I provided that to all the parties, including mom. So we now, although it is a month late, we now know that mom has got at least 90 days or close to 90 days clean and sober based on that hair follicle. And as long as she continues to maintain compliance, I think we are well on the way to getting this thing resolved in the next 3 months.
Mr. Goodday?
Your Honor, my client's clean right now. She doesn't see why we need to wait 3 more months. She'd like to have her son back in her custody at this point.
What's the guardian's position on this one?
I've always said that I think Austin should stay with me at least through the school year because we have him enrolled with an IEP and he's getting help with his behavior and his adjustment, that he still needs that. And that I'm willing to also work with mom as far as weekend visits, splitting up his spring break, that she could have him part of the time too.
So, Your Honor, as I recommended in the report that I provided at the beginning of February, Austin is 4.5 years old, and he has some pretty extensive emotional and behavior delays. His IEP was recently completed, and he is in intensive counseling as well as a one-on-one specialized preschool to help him work through some of those issues because of the experiences that he's had. In addition to that, he also has some specialized medical needs, which have been in the process of being worked on. Mom and petitioner Cassandra Redden have worked very well together over this last several weeks to work on that transition time with Austin to help him be settled and understand what's happening, as well as getting his needs met. But Austin is still in need of intensive therapy, intensive educational support in order to be successful. And I think a sudden change would be absolutely disastrous for him. I think it makes good sense to allow him the time over this next couple of months while mom is able to establish that she can put together 6 full months of clean and sober and do the heavy lifting that's required in parenting this child. He requires a lot of extra support. And that relationship as it builds between mother and petitioner will allow that support for Austin as well as for mother with the person who has been the kind of the steamroller or the person in front making these things happen for Austin. And that support is important in order for Austin to be safe and Austin to transition to mom's care full time. I would remind the court that, we had previously, there were, the concerns involved a long-term history of domestic violence and substance use. And Mom was ordered to do the hair follicle more than a month ago, and that did not happen. She had missed several UAs at her treatment, failing to call in. And so I am very pleased that we have 3 months of sobriety that we can document. But I really feel like it's important that Austin have his mom at a full 6 months, that she's ready and that she's began to really integrate into all of his services, which at this point, we're not there yet. We're getting there, but we're not there yet.
If I may say something, Your Honor, my 6 months is coming up March 7th. That will be my 6 month clean and sober. And so, I know Austin needs a lot of the stuff that they are saying, which I have my family who is willing to help me put him in stuff like that. Continue his IEP because his IEP can transfer. On top of his IEP transferring, I can get him counseling here because they have him over in Longview. I'm all the way in Vancouver, so, and I know Cassandra and them live in Woodland. But I am willing to take on all that stuff and continue to get Austin the help he needs. I just know that I've been working as hard as I can to continue my sobriety, continue to allow, all as much as I can to do for Austin as of only having him over the weekends. But I would like to have him back as soon as I can.
All right. So I guess what we probably need to do on this today is to get an actual hearing set with testimony, if it's contested. And in order to do that, I need to put it onto our assignment docket, which would be tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Your Honor, that docket is closed.
I'm sorry?
That docket is closed.
The assignment docket is?
Yeah, it's at 25 of 20.
Oh, okay. Mr. Goodday, can you hear me? I know he was here.
Your Honor, Mr. Goodday put a message in the chat that he's in another hearing and had to turn off his audio.
Okay. Well, at this juncture,
What's your occupation? What is it?
probably the best I can do is set a hearing or set it on for assignment. Can put it on at 1 o'clock on the 28th. And I'll extend the order to that point. The commissioner can extend it to whatever the trial date is. That order currently has, give me just a second here. There were visits that were basically per the December 12th order. And let me just double check that just a second here.
I believe their weekend, the Friday until Sunday at 3, as well as holidays, and then other times as the parties agree, which they've been working together
Right.
for additional time.
Okay.
When Austin's not in school or other medical appointments, things like that.
Okay, so that would obviously stay in place. There's no reason that would need to change. So let me put it on for 1 o'clock on the 28th. I'll extend the order to that point, and then the commissioner can extend it to whatever our trial date is, and we can try and get this on as quick as we can.
And what court would that be under?
That would be under our universal trial assignment docket. It's at 1 o'clock on Wednesday.
Okay.
So it's a fairly easy one to locate. Just go to our court website and to the Zoom hearings, and there'll be a link to the universal trial assignment docket. Might not be the only one at 1 o'clock, but it's definitely scheduled at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
All right. So the 28th at 1, we'll leave status quo and then come back. And it sounds like you're doing a really good job as far as moving this forward. And I think that's both in your child's best interest as well as your own best interest.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get it moving in a good direction.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
All right. To
And Your Honor, I had to step out. What's our next court date?
I'm going to put it on for assignment on the 28th at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So it sounds like we have we probably just need to have a hearing and get it resolved.
Okay.
You can let the commissioner know that we need this relatively urgent. I mean, extend this order to that date, and then she'll extend it to whatever the trial date is. This matter?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. So this one, we were looking, I think, for dad to be served. Has that happened?
No, it has not happened, Your Honor. I have no further information than I did the last hearing, how to get a hold of him. And I apologize to Miss Farr for not getting a hold of her, but I misplaced her phone number. But like I said, I have no more information about locating where the father is than I did at our last hearing.
All right. So,
I don't know what to do, Your Honor.
so Ms. Farr can probably assist you with that. Ms. Farr, are you with, there you are.
Yes, I'm here. And I'm happy to assist him with that. I just haven't heard from him.
Can I have your number once again, please, ma'am? I misplaced it. I'm very sorry.
360.
Okay, that's wonderful.
If
I
you
will not
misplace
misplace
it, just Google. It's easy to find on the internet.
Okay.
You could also contact the court. We have that number if you can't locate it for some reason. So, Mr. Goodday, where are we at with regards to your client?
Your Honor, I don't think she's been at the past couple hearings, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on with her. I'll try to reach out to her.
All right. I don't see her here.
She has had, Your Honor, she's had no contact with Elliot since Christmas Day. Nobody, I haven't heard from her myself.
Okay. Well, Ms. Farr, how much time do you think we need to set this one out for?
I would say a month. Let me give me some time to get in touch with Mr. Hebrew and get him in the right direction to get father served.
Okay. That would put us the 19th at 10:30 of March.
Let's see.
That works for,
I'm actually in training all day that day. And I
Gonna go
have
to-
trial on the 12th,
how about the 26th?
and that would be fine.
Mr. Goodday, does that work for your schedule?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So we'll put this out to the 26th of March. That'd be at 10:30 on this docket. Make sure I get that right. This is Davis. And we'll leave status quo. Hopefully we can get him served and then we can move this thing forward.
That'd be
Thank you.
wonderful, Your Honor.
All right. So Sarah, if you can reach out to Ms. Farr, she'll be in this docket for a little while still this morning, but as soon as you can get that accomplished, we can get this thing moving.
I shall do that, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
Your
Thank you.
Honor, on that one, will you be signing the immediate?
I'll be extending the immediate till the 26th of March at 10:30.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll do that right after docket. Are we still on the record? Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
great, okay. And as far, did everybody get a copy of your proposed order?
Your Honor, so that Miss Maddox is the only party who has really appeared or responded or participated.
Okay.
And she signed the order. I don't even have an email address for the parents to send them a copy.
Okay. All right, well, I did just look through it. It looks like everything is here. The child support's already taken care of, so.
Mhm. And the CPS information is in now.
Right, I saw that it had made it through, so. All right, I have those. I have signed this order. I'll give it to my clerk right after docket.
Thank you.
Are we done, Judge?
I'm sorry?
Are we finished with court today or? I'm
For
not
the
sure.
Holt matter?
Yes, I'm her grandma.
Correct, yeah. I've signed the order now. That'll go into place. To get a copy of that, you can check with the clerk's office probably later this afternoon.
Okay, could I ask a question regarding visitation? I don't know if there's any orders for the mom. I kind of seen that the dad's still in place from when they divorced, but I'm not sure about the mom. What do I do?
It looks like, wait a minute here. As far, let me double check that. I don't see a specific.
Well, the agreed order, I think it is in section 20, if I remember right. Says no visitation for either parent due to the 191 restrictions, but it does give some discretion to Miss Maddox for supervised visits if she chooses.
Correct, right. It doesn't have specifics, but that's kind of up to you as to what you think is appropriate.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you, Judge.
Yeah, and if they want to do something different, they can always come back to court and we can have further hearings and make some decisions about that. But at this point, it's really in your hands.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Have a good day.
You as well. I have this on for status as well. Looks like we do have the CPS information.
And so, Your Honor, I only received that information this morning. And because of that, I did not have a report prepared.
Okay, and I see Ms. Powers is present. She's not, wouldn't be handling this one though. Right, just watching, that's fine. I'll get used to the change, so. All right, so.
At the last hearing, you said that you were going to bifurcate on this, on the child support.
Yeah, and I think we have, okay, so we just need to get your report
Mhm.
and then we can move from there. How much time do you think you need on that?
I'd like to say a week, but I think that that's pushing it. So I'm going to say 2 weeks.
I will enter, do we have anybody else present on that one?
I'm Molly Curry. I'm grandma.
Okay, great. All right. So we're going to set it out 2 weeks to the 5th of March at 10:30. Ms. Barr will get her report proposed done and filed a copy to you. And assuming that do we have anyone else actually doing anything on this one?
This is a case where father needs to establish paternity.
Right. Okay. So if you want to put together a proposed order along with that, we can address that in 2 weeks.
Miss Curry, I'll be in touch with you so we can do that together.
Perfect.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Thank you.
So I'll extend it out to the
I'm
5th of March at 10:30. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me see here. Ms. Barr, where are we at on this one?
This is the same scenario. I just received the CPS information this morning.
Okay.
So probably 2 weeks on this one as well. I can get the report finished.
Okay, and we have no one else responding at this point. All right. So Ms. German, we'll do the same thing on this case. We'll set this out 2 weeks. Ms. Barr will be in touch with you to put together her report as well as proposed orders.
Okay, Your Honor, can I ask you a question regarding the orders? When I filed, there was a box regarding claiming the child for tax credits. I'm just curious if that's something that was approved or not, as I have an appointment for my taxes next week, and I didn't know how that worked.
Do we have the state involved in this one, Ms. Barr? I don't see them.
Let me see.
Because we don't have a child support specifically being addressed.
No, the father. Let's see.
We've got no one else appearing, so it would seem
No, this-
appropriate if you want to put that in.
The state is not involved.
Okay, if you want to put a line in the order that they have the right, under the powers that they can
Mhm.
claim the child for 2023. So this year's taxes, I'll
Okay.
approve that.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
all right.
I'll be in touch with you, Ms. Sherman.
All right,
All right.
so March
Thank you.
5th at 10:30.
I'm
Involved in
here
this case.
representing the petitioners, Mary and George Havens. My client, Miss Havens, is present by Zoom, and then the mother and alleged father are also both present by Zoom. That's Patricia Haven and Ty Clapp.
Okay, I see both of those names. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so do we have a visitor on this case or do we need one?
We will need one, but we're actually at the very beginning. This is our first show cause hearing, and we have not been able to get the parents served yet. We did reach out to them via text message this morning and sent them the Zoom links. I'm glad to see them here. I'm hoping that they'll provide an address where we can serve them. The addresses, our attempts to serve have not been successful so far.
Okay. Okay, so let me just a couple of questions. This is for Ms. Havens and Mr. Clapp. First question, it sounds like, and I don't know anything about your case. It's a new case, so I don't have a lot of details about it. It sounds like the petitioner is requesting a guardianship over the child. So my first question is, are you opposed to that? Are you agreeable to have these folks take care of the child? You're
Temporary.
on a temporary basis, and Miss Havens, you're muted. And are you okay with that on a temporary basis, ma'am?
On a temporary?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, I can't really do anything until you get your copies of the paperwork in this case. So the best thing we can do is to obviously get you the petition so you can see what's being requested. And then see if you're in agreement with that, you have a right to do that. If you don't wish to agree to that, then I can set another hearing out a couple of weeks. We can come back and talk about whether or not you need lawyers appointed, whether we need a court visitor, that sort of thing. So are you able to give us an address where you can be served, or would you be willing to stop and pick up the papers?
I can give you an address.
Okay.
3.
Okay. And Ty Clapp, are you two together or not?
Yes, we are, but he's not currently home.
Okay, but does he live with you?
Kinda.
Okay. So, Mr. Clapp, if Miss Powers were to get the paperwork to Miss Haven's residence to her, or would you prefer a copy to be sent to you directly or gotten to you directly?
No, send to her is fine.
Okay. So we'll send 2 copies to that address, and you're both agreeable that that will be effective service if we have that mailed to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start there. We're probably it's gonna kind of mess with our timelines if it's not agreed with out of state, but would you want to set this out a couple of weeks, Ms. Powers?
Yeah, let's get this out a couple weeks so that we can get this out in the mail. We'll get it out in the mail today and then have a chance to hear back from the parties about what their position is. So does the court want to send it out 2 or 3 weeks?
Why don't we go 3 on this one? Just that'll, with the mail and everything, that'll give a little more time to deal with that. So March 12th of 2024, we'll have another hearing like this. You'll get copies of the paperwork. I urge you to reach out to the petitioner and Ms. Powers. If you come to some agreements, that certainly is workable. If you don't, then we'll talk about how we proceed forward when we come back on the 12th. Do we need you said we do need a visitor at this point?
I don't think we need a visitor at this point. Let's wait and see if the parties are in agreement or not. Discuss that at the next hearing.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I did have a question about visits until we go back to court or whatever. Can I go see her as long as my mom's okay with it and my mom's there?
What we had proposed is that the parents could visit 2 hours a week in Goldendale, and so we would be in agreement with that.
Okay.
Okay. So why don't we do this? I'll put in the visits is agreed between the parties, so that you can visit in Goldendale, or if you come to a different arrangement, you can, between you and Mary Havens, you can agree to whatever visitation you want.
Okay.
Does that work? Ms.
Yeah,
Havens and Ms. Powers, does that work for your client?
Yeah, that will be fine. Can the court also enter an order extending the immediate minor guardianship order?
I will. I'll extend it to the 12th at 10:30.
Do you need me to send an order over to that effect, or do you have one?
I'll just do a bench order.
Perfect.
That's simpler on this one. And then you'll be able to get copies out of Odyssey. So at this point, we'll come back on the 12th. And if you folks all talk and come to some agreements, that's great. If you don't come to agreements, then we'll figure out the next steps on the 12th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Clapp, any questions from you, sir?
No.
Okay, very good. I believe that's all we have on this case. I'll get an order entered.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think that's our docket today. So
And we
with
have Miss
that, we will-
Dow, we have Miss Jones, We have Miss Melton. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Uh,
And Your Honor, Ms. West is unable to attend today.
okay. So I had emailed folks yesterday because I had not seen the guardian ad litem report or court visitor. I don't recall which it was now. Anyhow, and there was a large responsive type pleading to it, and that's what alerted me to it having been sent out. And so unfortunately I had matters until later yesterday and this morning, so I have not had a chance to review any of that. And so really can't do much here today. So with that, just wanted to kind of bring you up to where I'm at this point.
Understood, Your Honor, and I'm not sure whether it makes a difference as I'm still getting used to the procedure here, but I did discuss with the respondent mother the report, and I understand the court hasn't had time to read things, but she would like to move forward with getting the case set on for an evidentiary hearing to dispute the continue to dispute the emergency order for the guardianship. And so I'm not sure whether we can just be put on to that calendar now, or if this matter still needs to be continued to allow the court time to view the report.
And Your Honor, I discussed this with my client yesterday as well. And I think before we schedule an evidentiary hearing, I think this needs to be looked into a little bit further. The report that was filed that you haven't had a chance to see because apparently it didn't get up on Odyssey, that was the court visitors report. I think this might be more appropriate to have a guardian ad litem appointed before we schedule an evidentiary hearing. At least that's my understanding of the way this process works.
And you're correct in the sense that the court visitor has different obligations than the guardian ad litem, and depending on who does it, it can make a difference far now.
And apparently my client was able to attend as well.
Okay.
She wasn't sure she was going to.
Okay, so we do have Jamie West now, and Miss Farr here as well. So anyhow, so again, I haven't looked at it, so I don't know for sure what it says. So I think what I'd like to do is, I don't know, Miss Jones, what's your thought in regard to guardian ad litem investigation?
I just believe that my understanding of the process is that you could have the request for an evidentiary hearing, have the evidentiary hearing, the judge determines, no, we're going to continue with the petition, enter the emergency order, and at that time, the guardian ad litem is appointed. Or if we have the evidentiary hearing, the judge says, no, we're going to dismiss the petition. So it was my understanding that the evidentiary hearing was sort of step one if the respondent or parent was going to dispute the emergency order.
Ms. Farr, I apologize. We already got started on the Anderson matter. But one of the thoughts, I don't know if you were here and heard, is the request by Ms. Dow to have a guardian ad litem appointed. So essentially move to the different role as guardian ad litem. Again, I haven't had a chance to review the report. I know you emailed it. I just haven't seen it because I had other matters I had to take care of. But I don't know if you have any thoughts.
So, Your Honor, yesterday, both attorneys and I had a discussion about what the procedural protocols are. And so I've filed my report for court visitors. So I've completed that job. So the next step, if I'm going to stay in it, would be guardian ad litem, and that but I understand what Ms. Jones is saying too, and that is correct, that if that petition is dismissed for the emergency guardianship, that doesn't mean that that the standard petition would be dismissed. So we still could go on to the standard petition, which then would need an investigation.
And Your Honor, if I am understanding what I'm hearing here, in order to dismiss that emergency petition, we do need an evidentiary hearing. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
So overall, the question would be, is it appropriate at this point to go ahead and do the evidentiary hearing or have a guardian ad litem investigate before doing the evidentiary hearing? There is some concern, again, because I haven't had a chance to read what's even been stated at this point. I would like to have that opportunity. I don't know, and Ms. Farr, maybe you can tell me, for the evidentiary hearings, have they been setting those on to the trial?
Yes, so it gets set onto the trial setting docket, and then it's a 2 to 4 hour evidentiary hearing to get the emergency guardian appointed. But either way, the court visitor role would be completed because I've filed my report.
Right.
The evidentiary hearing would be to appoint the emergency guardian, and then we would go on with a guardian ad litem for the regular petition.
Okay. All right, so I think that's what we're going to do at this point is let's go ahead and set it on the trial setting docket and get a hearing, evidentiary hearing, as Ms. Jones has indicated, and then at least one part of it can be addressed at that stage. And then, as Ms. Farr has indicated, regardless, it can still go forward on the petition itself. And at that point, it would probably be appropriate, Ms. Dow, to bring that request back up, and or whichever judicial officer hears the evidentiary hearing, you can make that request.
Yes, Your Honor, if everyone agrees that's the appropriate procedure. I'm also still working my way through how this is supposed to function. There's a little bit of haziness here.
Honestly, I think everyone is, and I look across the state and I see all kinds of different ways that things are being done. So there's no consistency with what is been going on. So with that, let's go ahead at this point. I will go ahead and at least sign one of the emergency minor guardianship order to extend this for the next, probably, let's go with 3 weeks. And that will give you the opportunity, meantime, to go ahead and get that hearing. And then in 3 weeks, we'll just check to make sure that got set and is coming forward and see where things are at that point.
And Your Honor, do you put us on the trial setting calendar, or do I need to?
No, you'll need to note it up.
I'll need to note it up. Okay. I can do that.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and fill out and sign that order for setting it over 3 weeks. And that would put it on for, let's see, we're on the 22nd one. So March 14 at 10:30. Meanwhile, go ahead and note it up for the trial setting docket.
I will do that. Do you need another new order continuing the current guardianship since it expired?
If you want to prepare that and get it over to me today, that would be great.
I can do that.
All right. Okay. So first off, Ms. Beck, I have some questions for you. I was looking through to see what had been done, what had not been done. I did not see the Washington State Patrol criminal history reports for you as a proposed guardian. Did you do that?
Yes, they were filed when I filed all the paperwork.
Okay. Let me just double check. Maybe I missed it. Do you know what date that was? You say when you did the initial?
Back in December.
Okay. And I'm talking about the watch report. Did you do that?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. I do see that now.
Perfect.
Okay. And I have not seen the DCYF reports, which is not, we'll get to that here in a minute. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go now to Miss Day. Miss Day, you were appointed as the guardian ad litem. I did not write down the date.
I believe it's December 21st, Your Honor.
Okay. Can you tell me where things are at as far as what you're doing?
Yes, Your Honor. I am almost done with my report. I had recent contact with Mother, which has kind of delayed things just a little bit. I spoke with her last week. I actually had email and text communication this morning and expected her to be present, but I don't see that she is. She is objecting to the minor guardianship. So I am working through my report and hope to have it done by the end of this week or early next week at the latest. So if we could have a short set over, I should be done. I have received the child's medical records. I filed with the court a copy of the sealed document that included the hair follicle test on the child who was still positive. I understand you have already reviewed that. So hopefully we'll get this done. I hope to be done, like I said, at the end of this week or early next week. And then we could move forward with because this is just the full guardianship. There's not a separate one.
Right. Okay. So did you receive the DCYF records? Because I did not see them.
I have not received them, no.
Okay. So one of the things she signed off, Ms. Farr did is they were having troubles getting the DCYF records. And so I believe she made a list of her cases and submitted them to either Megan or to Ms. Michael Best. I'm not quite sure. They resubmitted the requests.
Okay.
So I would suggest doing that because they now have the place. I guess there was a lot of changes as to where they were supposed to submit the request. So
sure. Yes, I'll do that, and I'll double check with Ms. Farr to make sure who she sent it to and get that done today.
Okay. All right. So that would be the other thing that I definitely want to make sure of. So Ms. Beck, anything from you at this point?
No.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Day, what I'm inclined to do is go ahead and set this over. You said 1 week, you think you can have it done?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And I should have asked, what about Dad?
I don't know that he's been served. I've not had any contact with the father whatsoever. Ms. Beck might be able to answer that. I don't know.
Ms. Beck?
I've had contact with Chad's father, no contact with Chad himself.
Okay. So no service at this point?
No, the only address that we have on file is his parents' address, who have refused service.
Okay. All right. Well, there are other means of doing service that you should look into because we definitely, we want to make sure that it's not just one parent and we want to address both parents. So I would suggest looking into the alternative means of service if that's what needs to take place. And then we make sure to have that coverage as well. Okay. All right. So meanwhile, we'll go ahead and proceed forward and set this matter on for February 29 at 10:30. All right. That's it for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.